Hi, John. How are you?
Good.
Things around. Go channel 5. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Currey. I'm the Chief of Police here in Vero Beach. And we called everyone here this afternoon to tell you about our investigation that is currently ongoing. I want to make sure you're aware that it is ongoing, and I'm going to give you as much information today that I can, but there are some things that we can't talk about right now. And as we continue our investigation, we'll be able to give you additional information. We were called to the Carolina Trace Apartments out there on 16th Street, the 4200 block of 16th Street. On Friday, the parents of Diana Duve were concerned of her whereabouts. We responded to the home where she had been staying at the residence along with a Michael Jones, and we were unable to locate them for her parents at this time. Nobody was home. No cars were in the driveway. We learned that through additional investigation and talking to the parents and some friends that this relationship had been on again, off again, and she had recently moved out of the apartment where she had been staying with him at 103 Carolina Trace. But her whereabouts on Thursday, the mom last heard from her about 1:45 a.m. through a text message saying she would be out that night and not coming home. She had since moved home with mom and dad, so they were expecting to hear from her. As they said, she always responds to them of her whereabouts, where she is, when she's going to be home, things like that. We do know that she was where she was throughout the evening on Friday. On Thursday. She was at some of our local establishments here in Vero Beach city limits. We know where she was at 5 o'clock. She was with a girlfriend. We also know where she was thereafter. She was with that same girlfriend or two until about, I guess maybe around 9:30, 10 o'clock that night. We're still putting some of the timeline together, so you have to bear with us to some extent. But what happened after she departed from her girlfriends, we believe she met up at some point with Michael Jones, because as you know from yesterday's flyer, the last place and time that anyone saw Diana and Michael was at the Water Tavern restaurant and bar. They were there. The bartender knew them both. We spoke to the bartender. They checked out about 1:13 a.m. on Thursday, make that Friday morning, and paid for the bill, and they said they left together in what we believe to be is her vehicle. His vehicle was left in the parking lot. So that's when she apparently texted mom about 1:45. Again, they departed at 1:13 a.m. She texted mom about 1:45 saying, "I'm not going to be coming home." Mom tries to contact her the next day to no avail. Even late Friday afternoon, she calls again, tries to text, no answers, goes to the home, knocks on the door, nobody home. That's when she called us leading up to Friday. We went to the home once again. Nobody in the driveway, nobody home upon knocking on the door. So we started an attempt to locate for both the individuals. This led into Monday morning early. We started back about 8 a.m. with the parents trying to make an effort to find Diana and even Michael. We checked the local hospitals, we checked the local jail, we started contacting family, friends, co-workers, things like that, to try to find their whereabouts. Again, this was not like her to not respond or be in contact with mom or dad or family members. So this led us into a search warrant that evening prior to 9 p.m. Again, this was Saturday. We obtained a search warrant for 103 Carolina Trace. And I'm not going to go into details as far as what was retrieved there at the time, but they were not there, nor were any of their vehicles from that search warrant. This led us into Sunday. Once again, yesterday, throughout the day, what we did was continue to contact and interview people that had seen them when they saw them last, try to put together once again a timeline. We were able to obtain a search warrant for his phone So we were able to do a ping on that phone to try to find the location of him and or the phone. That's if you're not familiar with that, that's essentially like a GPS tracker. So we were able to get through a search warrant for that. That led us to a ping in the location of I-95 at Okeechobee in Fort Pierce, where we asked the Fort Pierce Police Department to follow or be on the lookout for Mr. Jones, of course, Ms. Duve, and both vehicles. They responded. They started going hotel to hotel and asking if anyone by their names or descriptions had checked in. And one of the officers did find Mr. Jones checked into a Hampton Inn there off of I-95 in Okeechobee. They went to his room. He did have his check-in with his own name. They went to his room and made contact with him. Mr. Jones was arrested for a violation of probation with no bond. We transferred our probable cause to Fort Pierce PD, and he was transported to the St. Lucie County Jail, where he remains at this time. Mr. Jones had a previous arrest in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, I believe in 2012, of an aggravated stalking and an aggravated stalking with a firearm, which he then thereafter became on a probation status. And when he moved here to take a job, his probation was transferred to Indian River County. And we dealt with his probation officer as well yesterday in getting some of that information in an effort to help us as well. So he went to jail for that. We also obtained some more phone ping information coming out of Melbourne, Florida, to the north of us. And we did the same with Melbourne PD. We asked them to respond to the general area of the ping, and they did as well. That was earlier this morning. Thereafter, we made contact and arrested Mr. Jones. The officers responded to the area of South Babcock Road in Fort Pierce City, or excuse me, Melbourne city limits, and did locate Ms. Duve's Nissan Altima. And they advised us, our investigators responded to that scene as well, and met with the Melbourne Police Department. We identified the car, of course. We did have the keys to her car, and we did look in the trunk, and they observed what they believed to be Ms. Duve, deceased white female. That is all I'm going to say as far as that goes. That's ongoing. You have to understand that now we have multiple jurisdictions involved. We have Melbourne Police Department. We have the state attorney in Melbourne and Brevard area. We also have the medical examiner's office in Brevard County involved as well. And clearly we already have ourselves involved with our state attorney here and several other agencies, as well as Fort Pierce, Indian River County Sheriff's Department, the probation office, and others that have helped us get to where we are right now. So that is essentially what I have for you today. We will give you more as we obtain more information. I will field questions, but keep in mind once again that it is ongoing, so some of the information I'm not able to share with you, but I'll do my best at this time.
Chief, has your detectives talked with Mr. Jones, and if so, has he said anything?
Mr. Jones invoked his rights, claimed he did not know where she was at on scene, and you know, more or less did not want to talk unless we were ready to help him with his probation, or if we could tell him what we wanted to talk about first, and that wasn't on the table for us.
Are we saying for certain that that is Diana Duve's body?
I have not gotten a confirmed, John, on that specifically. We believe that's who is in the trunk of the car based on our initial observation, based on our timeline, based on the information that we have and that we've gathered up to that point. We don't believe it's anybody but her, but we have not gotten an official confirmation.
You know how she died?
At this time, we do not. And we'll certainly share that with you as we get that.
Were there signs of trauma on the body?
That's, again, with regard to some exigent circumstances, as far as potentially, is someone in the trunk, could they be alive? We entered the vehicle with the keys that we had. and we saw that there was a deceased female in the trunk that we believed to be her. And so there wasn't an examination at the time, John, and that's being done as we speak.
What time was her body discovered?
We were in Melbourne. You gotta bear with me, I've been up for a while, and so have the guys. I think I can get that for you. I think we were probably up there around 3 to 4-ish in the morning.
This morning?
Yeah, because he was located around the midnight hour in Fort Pierce, and we dealt with that. We did retrieve and bring his car back, which we will be conducting a search warrant on his car. So we were here for that, and then the guys went to Melbourne with information. So between 2 and 4 a.m., I can get something more definitive on that, but that's probably about when we responded to Melbourne.
Can you
We first asked them to look for the vehicle, and then they did find it, and then we responded, and we had the key. We found the body inside the trunk. They did not.
Can you talk about the nature of what South Babcock Road is like? Is it rural? Is it a neighborhood? Is it parked in front of a house?
I believe there's a Publix in the shopping center where the vehicle is located. If you go, I'm fairly familiar with it. It's commercial by all means. If you go north on US 1, for instance, and turn on Nass, I believe, the next block or so after the railroad tracks is Babcock. I think it runs north and south. But again, it's all commercial. Convenience stores, hotels, shopping plazas, things like that.
It was found in a Publix parking lot?
It was a shopping center that I believe did have a Publix in the shopping center.
Is Mr. Jones your number one suspect in the death of Ms. Duve?
He is.
Do you know when the two moved apart, when they left the 103 Carolina Trace? Was that recently, as far as when they
When she moved out?
Yeah.
In talking with the parents and some of the friends and family, it was again on and off, off again. I believe right now it's maybe mid-June or so, not that long ago. But even prior to that, I think it was on again, off again. But I believe she told some friends that she was leaving mid-month and had done that at some time.
So as of this instance, she was back at home with her parents?
She was back at home with her parents and did meet up with him Thursday evening late into Friday morning. Yes.
So if his car was left at the bar and they took off in her car, correct?
Correct.
And then her car was found in Melbourne, he was found in Fort Pierce. Have you connected how he got to Fort Pierce? Did he have an accomplice? Was he by himself?
We're working on that, and I'm not at liberty to share that at this time. And certainly that would be something that we'll share with you as we piece things together, without question. Any more questions?
Jones an attorney?
I believe he is an attorney by degree. I don't think he's was acting as or working as an attorney. He had been in Fort Lauderdale area, and I believe he obtained a job here locally with PNC under a contract, from what we're being told, with regard to some wealth management, so in the financial side of things. And I don't believe he was working as an attorney. I don't believe that.
And she was a nurse, from our understanding?
She was a nurse, yes.
Which hospital?
Sebastian.
Did you personally deliver the news to her parents?
I did.
Could you just talk about that moment?
I certainly can. You know, we've got a dedicated group here of individuals and also employees, and you know, we work any case that comes across our desk as best as we can. And certainly something like this, when the parents are concerned and where their children are, it hits. You know, it's more personal. We all have family and things like that. So. You know, it's slightly difficult in that regard, and we've done it before. But we've talked to the family. I met them Saturday at the Carolina Trace, and talked to them at length. Gave them my card, told them to call me anytime, and they've done just that. We spoke all through the day yesterday. I talked to them early hours this morning. I went and visited them this morning and gave them the unfortunate news about their daughter, and they're, as expected, you know, shocked and upset. It's their only child, and you know, she's been a good girl, obviously, and got educated and is a nurse, and they're just simply so proud of her, and to lose their 26-year-old daughter is just a sad mistake.
Did she grow up here, from your understanding?
I believe most of her high school years was here. I don't know that she was born here, but she did grow up here. We put that flyer out, everyone. We put that flyer out yesterday and then updated with him. And our initial flyer on our Facebook page was like 225 shares. And then the updated flyer was like 409 as of this morning. And that just goes to show you that those shares were friends and family and concerned people that were simply doing just that, sharing that information in an effort to get the word out and to, if anybody hears or sees anything, or they can share information, what have you. So a lot of friends that are very sad today, and that's where we're at, Joe.
Have you personally had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Jones?
Have I spoken to Mr. Jones? No.
And again, just to reiterate, did he make any mention of the disappearance of Diana?
He said he didn't know where she was.
Chief, can you talk about the technology today, the newer technology? Was it a big help in helping to get leads and develop this case?
It's a great help. We talked about it a little bit earlier, where years and years ago, we certainly didn't have that, and now we do. And it's a great help. It's amazing some of the things that you can use, and it's at your fingertips and the resources that's available to us, especially when we cooperate with other agencies and what have you. Sometimes the social media is good. Sometimes it's too quick for us as well. So, but it's all good. The technology is great. The social media is great. We here at Vero Beach Police Department want to get the information out to all of you as soon as possible, and we feel that you as well help us in getting that information out and sharing that. So it's all a collaboration.
Is this one of the first times you've used a search warrant like that to ping a phone to track down a suspect of this nature?
Of this nature, yes. And I can tell you thus far it's been a big key. And again, we can get into detail down the road, and we're glad they do that.
Can you say the pings were from both of their phones or just his phone?
Just his phone.
So what led you guys to Melbourne?
The ping on the phone.
On her phone?
No, his phone.
I assume it was just different times.
Yeah, again.
Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry.
It's some information
not at the
that
same
I'm not
time.
going to share. Right.
Okay.
Right. Both things were from his phone.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Chief, was there
Yes, ma'am.
any concern from family or friends about, did they express any concern about Jones? Were they surprised that he was a suspect? Did they talk about anything that had happened violent in his past or in their past relationship?
Well, they were, again, they were concerned because even at 26 years of age, adult, not a youngster, but not older by any means, but, how many 26-year-olds just, if they're staying out, text mom or call mom and dad, I don't know, but that was one thing that was they were adamant about, is she always kept in touch, even if she wasn't staying at home. She told them where she was. Her mom and dad, they would communicate via text or phone, and it's just a matter of conversing each day as mom and dad and daughter would. So it was very, very, very unusual to not be able to contact her, and that obviously raised some suspicion on their part.
When can we expect to see more charges against Mr. Jones?
Well, again, we have some. It's a little complex right now with regard to what we have here in Indian River County, what we have in St. Lucie County, what we have in Brevard County. We're actually on a 3-county case here, if you will. So, and we want to do things right. You have to understand, and I know you do, that things have to be, the I's have to be dotted and the T's have to be crossed. So as long as we do it right, it doesn't matter how much time it takes. And in the meantime, we'll keep you posted as well. We'll be right back here again, I hope sometime soon, and we'll let everybody know. John, I know you have something else.
What?
You're over there,
No.
something's ticking over there.
No. I'll take some knowledge.
Anybody else this afternoon? Again, we want to thank you all for coming, and we do appreciate again, what you do for us, because without you, it would be be hard to get the information out as well, so we do appreciate it, and, you know, you can always call the office, and we'll certainly get right back to you. Elliot Jones even knows that. Thanks for coming back this afternoon, folks, and we'll be in touch once again. All right.